NEKI are back with a brand new song from their brand new album that isn't released. But what is released is that new song I was talking about, Confused Yet? Yes, NEKI with the song Zero Sum. It's just come out, and we are here to talk about what is rather an interesting choice for NEKI. So I think that. Shut up,
Who's
Pikachu.
that?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's fine. Don't worry. Anyway, so there's no one here. It's just me. It's just me. Anyway, so what did you think about the what did you think about the new NEKI song?
Well, I
Do you
don't know.
mean us or Detective Pikachu?
I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, you haven't heard it yet.
I'm completely
All right.
freaking useless in this conversation.
Okay. Let's see
Okay.
what Detective Pikachu thinks. Is that the voice you expect Pikachu to have?
No, it's
Not at all.
that's a very deep
He
voice.
sounded very different when I
You
grew
want to know
up.
what's
I think
really
he
weird
got
is the fact that his voice
He got
box
older
is
and
hanging
started
out.
smoking.
His voice box is hanging out of his butt. It's just, let's put it this way, Ryan Reynolds has got a really good Japanese language skills. Let's push his. This is not what you expect to
That's
see on yesterday's.
Wow. Pikachu is just
questionable toy.
Questionable. Sorry. Thanks for that, James.
Oh yeah, don't try and blame James.
All right,
That's
so
from the special store.
now that we've got everyone confused, NEKI, brand new song, Zero Sum.
I mean,
Serious
Neon already
thoughts on
said
this?
he hasn't heard it, so he cannot tell much. But I can tell you, I really like
Okay.
this song.
Okay.
Liked it a lot more than the last one, which I think was Loner.
Dreams was the last one. Loner was the
Oh, Dreams was the last one. Yeah,
Loner, Dreams, and now Zero Sum.
but I
So
think, yeah, I mean, it kind of hit more my taste, but so energetic, that slap bass, that fast slap bass immediately out of the gate keeps you energized. Really love that. I mean, that bass is kind of the highlight of the song, wouldn't you say?
I mean, to be honest, it felt to me a lot like so I mean, yeah, obviously the song is like seriously focused on the bass. It's really focused on that. But the thing is that for me, the bass is it's very much riffing. It's like a slap riff. It's not really doing much beyond that. And so this song for me
What more do you
felt
need?
like well, I mean, this is probably where we get into an interesting point because for me, this felt like a really impressive song with a lot of fantastic musicianship, a lot of nuance, but it felt the least like a song that they've ever released. So for
Okay.
me, I felt that this was definitely there to almost like a thank you to all of the fans who came over who really like songs like Marse. It's definitely like Marse 2, in my opinion. It's not Marse had I think a stronger melody, but this is definitely about like giving those people who get the jitters about the really good quality musicianship, giving them something to rally around and be excited about. Because and I don't think that's a bad thing because Dreams and Loner, I love both of those songs, but there's no doubt that both Dreams and Loner were very much focused on the melody. It was very much feelings focused songs,
Yeah.
and they were clever. I mean, I love the drum work. The drum work's so clever in all their songs, very subtly, and there's lots of subtle stuff in them. But they weren't like they were sort of things that to a casual listener you just go, oh, it's a pop rock band. You have to really kind of know your music to hear the nuances they add in those two songs. Whereas this is one of those ones where you don't, casual listener or not, you can listen to it and go, damn, that band's talented. And I think that's what this song's about more. This is more kind of like the
But
flex.
so I'm just trying to understand why you say this is less of a song. So would you say this is missing melody
I mean, it's definitely
or
missing
feeling?
melody. Melody wise, it's not got as much melody. Feeling wise, it's got a little bit, but not. It doesn't really make me feel very much. It's more like a sort of it's a bouncing, rocking song. Like, it's very kinetic. So much is
Yeah,
happening. It's
but like, why
exciting.
is that less of a song?
Okay, so
Just a
the reason
different
why
type
it's
of song.
yeah, no, I mean, I was kind of looking for the best way of wording this. It's a song that doesn't
You
have a
failed.
you. By all means, feel free to tell me what I really think. I was, um, it has like it doesn't really have as much of an arrangement as other NEKI songs. So I think it's a bit of a pre-chorus and everything, but there isn't really so much of you don't really feel like, oh, this bit's a refrain that we're supposed to be, this is the bit we're supposed to be excited that it comes back to. There's like no, there's not a huge amount of feeling that it's really going anywhere. Like for example, the bridge is literally bridge arrives and it's like bass riff again, solo happens, and then we just kind of go back. And so, it's a
No, not
song that,
really. There's another part in between because actually I pointed that out in my reaction. There is a part after the solo that I really enjoyed because it wasn't just going back to the chorus. There was
but
more
it's,
of a second mini bridge building
yeah,
up
okay.
back to the chorus.
But it wasn't
And
really a bridge, was it? It was just kind of like
not
recycling what we'd already
really.
had
No,
before.
I
Yeah,
agree with
yeah.
that. And I also can kind of see what you say that, it didn't really maybe didn't really excitingly lead you anywhere. But I felt during the whole song, it felt kind of very dynamic. I always
Yes.
thought, okay,
Mm.
now I knew interesting part and never felt any part was overstaying its welcome or something. There was always something new, something keeping me interested. So I kind of
From
like the song a lot as
from
a song.
second to second, it keeps you interested. But the minute you've been through a few changes, you do
Yeah, it's
start to
maybe
think,
not
okay,
as
where's
deep
this going?
as some of the
Um,
other songs.
But I mean, so my eventual conclusion on this song was I felt that it really seemed to me like very strong album track. It's the sort of song where on its own I wouldn't go back and re-listen to this song. But if this came up on an album between two other songs that were a little bit more like maybe more emotionally impactful songs, this is a great song that takes you from A to B. It's a good switch of gears from like songs like Loner and Dreams that don't have the obvious nuances and obvious flair that this song has. It's just like a great little bit of showboating that, like you say, it doesn't get boring. It doesn't ever get to sound old, but it is kind of a very like a functional. You just kind of enjoy it while it's on, and it's stopped, rather than a, oh wow, I really want to listen to that song kind of thing. That's how I felt about
I
it
do kind
personally.
of agree on that, but
Okay.
I
Oh,
also
holy
feel
shit.
this got me a lot more excited about their next
Mm.
release than the two songs before.
Do you think that because that's how I felt like a lot of people responded to Marse? Because Marse again did not come out. That was the third song I think for that people heard from. I might be wrong on that, but I mean, so we heard
Not sure.
"Get Over," then "Reagan Go," and then I think Marse was most people started to hear that afterwards, although there was a live version banding about. But for me, this feels like it's filling a similar role to what Marse did on the debut exclamation. So I'm wondering, did you feel that similarity between this and Marse? Because I felt like they were peas in the pod in a way.
I would have to listen to Maze again, to be honest, because it's not really in my head right now. Um,
Marse, Marse. Sorry, you don't have to listen to it. You got me.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
You
cannot
don't
really
have to
comment
agree
on
with
that
that
song
shit.
because I just don't have that song in my head right now. But like I
But
said,
isn't that
this,
interesting? Because it doesn't stay in your head in that way. It's not that kind of catchy song that stays in your head.
yeah,
It's one
apparently not.
point proven. This you can remember every single song. I just
Well,
remain my
but
dumb
still,
mind.
I would say, after hearing the last two songs, I was like, yeah, I'm not really sure if I like the direction NEKI is going in. It's not a bad direction, but maybe not for me that much. But after hearing this song, I'm like, okay, I want to hear what else is there on the album. Because it's just a very different side of them, I would say. And also something I wanted to ask you, the important or maybe the worst question, does it sound like a Band-Maid to your ears? Are there similarities? Because for me, let me maybe start. I can see
Hmm.
some similarities in some of the style or some of the things they are doing in the song. For example, add some of that vocal distortion or things like that. That solo kind of reminded me of a
Hmm.
Kanami style solo, just very fast, very shreddy. But overall, I didn't really feel it's reminds me of Band-Maid. Kind of still felt like its own thing still. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
That's a really interesting book because I mean, I said when Marse came out, although I don't think Neki have ever done anything that just sounded like straight Band-Maid, but I think definitely Marse of all the songs on Exclamation, it was like, yeah, this is the one that is by far the closest to being a Band-Maid-esque song. You can feel a lot of Band-Maid inspiration in that song, right down to the chorus melody, some of the distorted vocals. I think you mentioned. I think that applies in Marse
Yeah.
as well. It really felt like, and I think that's also why a lot of people cited that as their favorite, because a lot of the people who cited that as their favorite were the ones who came over to NEKI from
Mhm.
Band-Maid in that
Mhm.
kind of swoop of people. So in a way, I feel like this is appealing to it's hitting the same nerve and will appeal to the same people. But I would actually say I agree with you. I think this one, despite it appealing to that same love for like the frenetic musicianship, it actually feels much further away from Bandmade than Marse did.
Yeah.
It's like it's kept the same approach towards musicianship, and in the same way Marse is, it's just this sort of rolling bit of flair and musicianship just blasting for a little while and
Mhm.
changing quickly, but not necessarily with a big payoff. But yeah, this definitely is much further away from, the chord patterns and the melody patterns in this are not are much further removed from Bandmade than Marse was. Um,
Okay, because I wanted to ask you what you think why that is. Because I thought maybe it's because of that frantic slap bass the whole time, because Bandmate usually Misa does more melodic lines.
well, actually, I'm going to bring up a little bit of an interesting question that I want to pose to you as well here, maybe in response to that. Because I guess the question would be, do you prefer Zero Sum or Marse? I mean, as I keep
Well,
on,
again, for that, I would have to like have Maze in my head.
true,
I would
yeah.
have to
I
hear it again.
I feel in a way that one of the reasons why I would probably prefer Marse is because I feel like there is still a little bit more development. This one there's a lot more flair. This one feels like they really took to heart the idea that people were like, whoa, Marse, I think they really took to heart how much people liked that. And so this feels like it's crowd pleasing. It feels like they're pleasing those fans who enjoyed that. Um, but I do feel like the end result is a little bit in the same way. Actually, the interesting comparison, like I would say, Dreams is like the most chorus heavy, catchy song they've ever done. It's like they took everyone who went, "Hey, do you know what? Get Over and Reagan Girl. They got really catchy choruses." It's like, "Oh, you thought that was catchy? Fucking watch this." And then like I think the same thing's kind of happening here in that they went, "Oh, you thought Marse was good, like playing. Let's fucking watch this." I feel like it almost feels like this second album at the moment feels like like an over like a higher contrast version of what we had in Exclamation. It's like they're doing the same things, but they're taking each of the extremes and pushing them further in those directions.
Maybe,
Um,
yeah, it could be. I mean, we don't have the full release yet, so we cannot say.
we got more
But
than half of it, bud.
yeah,
I know how much you love it
like
when that
it
happens.
usually happens. Um, Yeah, I mean, we will have to see. I mean, we totally agree. They can do the catchiness, but yeah, I think it's a difficult, how do you say, a difficult line to find like the thing that your audience will like because, some people like me, they will like songs like this a lot, but other songs that are still great, they will just not be for them because they are, yeah, too much in the pop realm. Um, so I actually wanted to ask Neon something because he's
Do
just
it.
listening to us
Do
the whole
it.
time. Have you
Moderator
heard
there.
the two songs before, like Dream and Loner, or Dreams and Loner?
Yeah. Touching back on
So,
what you were saying before. Yeah, sure, go on.
yeah, just want to ask you, were you like excited about these songs or not really?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. I think the one thing that really puts me off Neki is like I said is what you guys kind of said. I don't understand. Maybe this is just me, but I don't understand the Neki Band-Maid comparisons. I've never personally
Why would that
connect.
put
Con
you off, just out of
oh,
interest?
oh no,
Why
when
that
I say put off, I don't mean put off like as in like put off by them like musically or something. I mean I'm just put off by the whole comparison to
the
Band-Maid,
narrative?
the
Yeah,
narrative of
okay.
the
You're put off
of
by
the
the
Band-Maid.
narrative, not by the band. Okay.
Not by the band. It's one of those things where I've seen that said and talked about multiple times. Personally, it could just be me. I just don't see it.
I
Um,
don't think
too much.
most people do. release into exclamation came out. But the thing is, it is kind of looming over them a little bit because I mean, as I pointed out, the first time I saw them live, like half the room was full of people with Band-Maid shirts on because
Mm.
the thing is that a lot of, not all of it, but it does seem a large part of their success is being courted from that huge number of Band-Maid fans who came over.
It definitely
Um,
feels like an internet, like sort of like internet
yeah.
sensation phase thing where a lot of people are like, "Oh, this band sounds like Band-Maid," and like instead of people actually listening to NEKI a little bit, it just feels like, "Oh, it's a Band-Maid
Well,
band that sounds like
I
Julian,
Band-Maid," and
yeah.
feel
and
I
it's
would
more
say
like
I would
I'd
say
say they're
broadly
not,
you can
yeah.
say they make similar music, but that doesn't
mm,
mean Neki is like a copy or a
a copy
ripoff
of
of
Band-Maid.
Band-Maid.
Yeah, I've never
I'm
understood
not
that.
saying that. I'm just saying they are making similar
Yeah.
music. So
I,
I
I,
think
I
it's
think
fair to do a comparison.
I
But
think that to be honest, it's yeah, to be honest, as far as I'm concerned, they've only got one song that sounds even close to sounding anything like Band-Maid, which is
Mm.
Marse. I think that's the only one that sounds even a little bit like Band-Maid to me. I mean, Get Over, you could maybe argue Get Over has a
yeah,
little
I
bit of a
wanted to say
Band-Maid
get
feel
over.
to it. Um, yeah, maybe. I think if someone said that, I wouldn't push too hard against it. But for me personally, Marze is the only one where, without being cued to think that way, I'd go, "Oh, that's got a bit of a Band-Maid twinge to it."
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, is that I don't think any of us actually believe that is true, but it is an interesting thing to bring up because obviously it has had a big effect on who goes to their shows. I will say though that the last show I went to, Shimokitazawa Shangri-La, it was really kind of cool. The fact that I mentioned I never go in the Band-Maid shirt to their shows because of the fact that it's like well my NEKI shirt's signed, so I don't wear it to shows anyway. But the Band-Maid shirts, like there's so many people in Band-Maid shirts anyway. I don't want
Flex.
to wear a Band-Maid shirt there because I think if I do, it's gonna be like it's just gonna look like their crowd is like there for another band. So I usually bring the Trident shirt. And the first time when I met them, they were really like they'd seen a lot of Band-Maid fans, and I think I don't know why, but they really responded to my shirt, and I think they were just like, someone different band. It's like I think they were really excited about that. But
I
then
went to Love Bites show with a baby metal shirt and I got weird looks all over.
no. Do you know what? You should get a lot of love for that kind of thing because the funny thing is when I went to the Shangri-La show, I actually noticed a couple of other people in Trident shirts. And so I just tapped them on the shoulder and said hello. Okay, so sorry, okay, so the Trident fan base is coming over to NEKI as well now. Which is cool because I think that's good. I
Yeah,
think as because to be honest, Trident are more like NEKI than Band-Maid are.
you could
Um,
argue that. I agree.
you could argue it, yeah. I mean,
But
uh,
also not really.
yeah, exactly, and that's the kind of joy of it. But I think as we see all these other fan bases pouring in and mixing,
Mm.
then the Band-Maid comparison will slowly dilute out of existence. But they didn't help themselves going and signing that wonderful lucrative deal with Pony Canyon, now did they?
Definitely not. Yeah, it's one of those comparisons where I feel like you just said then they're drawn to probably your Trident shirt because I imagine for them as well at the same time it's like a shadow kind of being cast over you a little bit. Like to try and hit the heights of Band-Maid is an almost impossible task, and to constantly kind of being compared to them a little bit, that's gotta take the wind out of
it,
your sails just a little bit. Like it could be
I
that
think
that must feel exhausting.
bit of both, isn't it? It's a two
Mm.
double-sided, double-edged sword because
It's
obviously
definitely it
they've
definitely
got the
helps
benefit.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure, having the fans of a band you like become your fans is a great thing. But yeah,
Mm.
you don't want to. I think this is why I said the best thing that they did was hit the ground running with Exclamation, an album that sounded nothing like Band-Maid, and then follow it up with Loner and Dreams, two songs that in no way you would ever imagine coming out of Band-Maid. It's like they've made it pretty clear we're not Band-Maid, and I think
Yeah,
that's fine. I mean, there's no question to that. There's no one who's going to be after hearing the music they've put out
yeah.
thus far. There's no one who's going to be
That's exactly why
confused
I
about the
like
fact they're
this
not
new
Band-Maid.
song so much
Yeah, yeah.
because
It
it kind of has more of that Bandmate energy, but still doesn't sound like Bandmate.
yeah, I guess that's the interesting thing is it's got like you say that energy, but for me personally, Marze is the only song where I get like little hints of Band-Maid, whereas this one, Zero Sum, there is not a hint of Band-Maid about it to me. It
Yeah,
feels
really.
like
The only thing when I was thought about it was really the vocal distortion because, well, Bandmate also
and
uses that, but
they
that's like
love
the
that
only
vocal distortion, don't
similarity.
they? If I don't sound like I'm shouting at you over an AM radio, then I'm not doing a verse. I was like, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Oh yeah. But it's an interesting conversation actually, and I think it's a good point that I think it's a good point that Neon brings up. But I would perhaps argue that well, I guess we've already crossed this line already, but I think we are very safely at the line now where we can say NEKI has made it very clear that they are their own thing and they've got their own sound. They've been developing it, and yeah, I think that's great. If you're still a NEKI fan at this point, it means you like this sound that they have created for themselves.
Yeah.
Because I think we now can say there is a NEKI sound, which I guess was something we were wondering about around about exclamation. But I mean, yes, you have like as we said, you got like something like Dreams and Zero. Some are totally different, but you can hear the through line in their music now. You can say, "Oh, Zero Sum reminds me of Marze," and Dreams. That's right. I'm making people yawn. Apologies, guys. And you can. It's Detective Pikachu. He's yawning again. And that is coffee. And you say Dreams. Well, Dreams reminds me of Reagan Girl. You can draw those through lines, and you can really start to put together the web of NEKI's sound and their range, and I think we're at that really nice place now. So, thoughts on the upcoming trick taking?
When is it coming out, by the way?
Beginning of March, I believe. I'm gonna have to
Not
Oh
not
yeah,
too long to
5th
go then.
5th of March. Yeah, nice.
Nice. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
same day as the new Scandal. Yeah, Scandal and NEKI have got both of
Hmm.
their albums released on the same day.
That's going to be a good day.
It's gonna be a good day, and we're already gonna have heard all of those tracks.
I think for
Oh,
the future, what I would like is, I think it needs to be like more of an internet thing, is for people to, when they like talk about NEKI, I think they need to talk about NEKI as NEKI being a good band instead of always saying, "Oh, have you checked this band out because they
Have you
sound
checked
like
out that new
Band-Maid?"
Band-Maid ripoff?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, I think NEKI needs to like get some attention on their own merits rather than be
but
But
if
always
it,
we
like we
compared
said,
if
it's a
we
double-edged
to
sword
Band-Maid.
because it's also giving them a lot
yeah.
of exposure because people are like, I love Band-Maid, what else is out there? And then they find
Yeah, yeah,
But I mean,
that's
you
that's
you
true.
could extend that further in that, like, I mean, if someone says, "Oh, have you heard that new metal band, Hanabiya?" It's like, well, I mean, you could say that's limiting to call them a metal band because they do so much more.
Mm.
But the genre metal, you're using it more as an anchoring point to say, look, I think you like metal, so if you like metal, you might want to try this.
but I
And I
think
think,
the comparison is a bit
when people,
lacking because I
yeah, no,
think
but
it's more like if you would say, have you heard Hanabiye, the band that sounds like baby metal? And
but
then
this,
it's like, not
but this
really
is
at
the
all.
point is that this is one of the reasons why I often kind of cringe when genres are brought up anyway, and why I cringe when the Band-Maid things brought up for NEKI. But you, at the same point, is saying, well, that's not accurate. There has to be a little bit where you're like, well, we have to have certain things that when we recommend a band, or if we're trying to like we have to have references that we
Mm.
use, but we have to be mature enough to go, that is a reference. It's not a
Yeah.
description. It's just we're trying to give a reference.
Mm.
So, yeah, I think you can say, oh, you can draw like a band-made comparison, but it has to be under the maturity of the fact you're saying, look,
I
they
th
sound nothing
I
like
think you
band-maid.
can make a
Why?
comparison. I think you can make a comparison with genre, but history has proven time and time and time again that whenever you say another band sounds like the other band, um, the band that you're recommending is never as good as the band you're comparing them to. Yeah,
That's interesting. I think you might psychologically always pick a band who
Yeah,
are
I
more
think that's a
popular anyway, so
psychological
you can.
thing that because you expect something then that sounds like the other band, and obviously it will not sound like the group,
I
mm,
guess
so
that's true. Is because like if someone
can't
says
be as good.
Band-Maid, you're going to start hearing individual songs, whereas if someone says metal, you're just going to generally think, oh, it's loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Um,
No, but eventually, but the point is you will still listen to it and then eventually think, okay, this is not like the group that was recommended, but it's still awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like for example, if I said like
So let's say the, yeah,
mm,
sorry.
if someone asked me to recommend how would I describe NEK Talkie, my description of NEK Talkie would be take Yabai t-shirts you san, make it a little bit less heavy, a little bit slower, but keep all of the crazy and fill in the gaps with more crazy. And I'd be
yeah,
like, that's a pretty good description. So I think
yeah,
you just got to be as descriptive as you can when
yeah.
you do these
Yeah,
comparisons.
I'd be interested to know from the people watching this video in the comments, and please comment down below. Like, if somebody was describing a band for you to get you interested, like, what grabs you? Would you rather it be compared to like what Howard just said, like a genre and then like more descriptive, or if it's compared to like say one of your favorite bands, are you more inclined to give that a listen because that your favorite band's been mentioned? I'd be
yeah.
very interested to know people's kind of mindset or what they kind of go for if they listen or would not give something a listen, dependent on how that band or artist is
I,
advertised.
I would probably say, I mean, like for example, if I was really pushed to try and describe, I'd probably say sometimes drag out two bands. So like if you're going to say NEKI, I'd say like, okay, imagine the songs of Trident being played through a tone a little bit more similar to Scandal. Then you probably have something
I mean, you could
similar
do
to
it
NEKI.
that
Yeah,
way,
if you try and take two bands and like, yeah, like
or you could
that
do
that that
it.
might be.
Sorry, you were kind of lagging.
Yeah, go for it, go for it.
You
Sorry, I'm
could do
sorry.
it that way, like make it very specific, or like Neon said, let us know what you prefer. You could do it very broadly and just say, for example, in metal we do this a lot, Howard. I will explain to you. Just give a song and say this is heavy
Bro,
as
I've
fuck.
seen all of your subgenres. I've seen all of your doom
Yeah, but
metal,
like I said, we don't
Norwegian
say any
metal,
genre. We just
thrash
give you
metal.
the song and we say this is heavy as fuck. Listen to this, and that's all you need to know.
No, no, you don't. No, you don't. I'm sorry. I've had the fucking comments on my video. It's like, what you mean? What you mean? That's death
You
metal.
don't
That's
like
not
the
death
heavy
metal.
stuff, Howard.
That's Swedish doom metal. It's like what? What the fuck? Yeah, I've heard this.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not
but you
buying
have to
that whole
decide
thing.
for yourself because maybe giving too much description is not the best
Yeah,
way
I think yeah. I mean,
because then you expect too
ultimately
much.
that no, but that I think that's the thing with any like if you're trying to describe anything, the only real description is it is what it is. Go listen to it.
Mm.
And I think you tailor your description based on the person who you're describing it to. You know, what references do they know? How open-minded are they? If they're open-minded, then don't give them any description. Just go, this is good, listen to it. So, but they might be someone who like maybe doesn't have as good of understanding of music, and you have to give them more of a guide to why you think they'll like it. I think as well, actually, one of the best things is
Yeah,
use adjectives. This band is really uplifting. This band is really, frenetic. This band is
yeah.
really, uh, um, engaging. I think adjectives are probably much more useful than genres and comparisons now. I come to think about it.
Mm.
I mean, when you describe a movie, after all, I mean, you're less likely to describe a movie using genres than you are just to describe the mood, aren't you? So, this movie's exciting. This movie's it's kind of
Depends, I would say.
scary. You're going to use adjectives, really.
They're
Um,
still gonna say this is a sci-fi movie or this is a fantasy movie.
yeah, that's true. That's yeah, that's
But,
true. Yeah, I
but
guess you
again,
would use
that's the
something.
best way to describing something rather than saying, "Oh, this movie's like The Matrix," because then you like come in with like a preconceived notion of like,
Mm.
of
But then
what
it's not
you
gonna
think the
be as
movie's
good
gonna
as
be,
The
and it's
Matrix.
never going to be as good as The Matrix. Maybe the second or the third or fourth one, but definitely not the first one.
Mm.
So, this movie is as good as The Matrix. It's like first or fourth.
There's
We
a
need to be
there's a
very clear.
massive difference between those two
Yeah,
movies.
we need to be very clear about what you mean by The Matrix, my friend.
Mm. So, well, let's hope the fifth
Yeah.
one's as good.
Oh,
There
just
will be another
stop.
one.
Stop
There
talking.
is
No.
another
No,
one. It's in development
thought the
now.
last one flopped hard enough.
So, well,
Someone clearly gave the Wachowskis enough money, or the remaining Wachowski enough money that they went,
yeah,
yeah, let's make enough one of these
gonna
fucking
be
things.
it's
And
gonna be the
Keanu Reeves
first
was looking around like, well, I'm gonna get paid.
it's gonna be the first
Let's
Matrix
see if I'm
film,
watching that.
not directed by any of the Wachowskis. So, it'll be interesting.
It's too late. Too late.
It could
Just
be
let it go.
it could be
Let
too
it
late.
go.
Let it
Let it
Then will it have
go.
go.
any of the characters of the original
I
trilogy?
Well, the fourth
fuck
one didn't. There you go.
fuck knows. So, I kind of hope they don't actually. I hope they take like a fucking like 5,000 year freaking leap into the future.
Watch in a couple of years on Amazon Matrix
God.
Code of Power.
Code of power.
Oh no. No, 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 no.
Just you
No, no,
wait.
no. No, no,
There's
no.
still
End of
money
episode.
to milk out of
There's
that
still money to
franchise.
milk out of it. We came into this one going, "Hey, we're gonna make this a 20-minute video." Like we're very much out
Where
of
are we?
time.
Oh shit.
Um,
Well, from
Yeah.
NEKI to Band-Maid to Matrix.
Totally changed. Yeah, go work that one out.
Just remember, Neon has not heard what we have heard. And
Yeah, that's true. Going back to that actually, Benedict said before that this was like more his genre. This has got you more into Neki with this one compared to the other ones. I
Yes,
want to ask
totally.
why that is. You said the words, this is more like my style and had my interest. But the question I want to ask is why? What is it specifically about this song in particular? I haven't heard it yet, so I
Yeah.
don't know. But what resonates with you
Well,
more with this song compared to the other
I would
ones?
say overall it's less in a pop realm, more in a punk realm,
Mm,
like overall vibe-wise and musically, I would say, yeah, more than the two songs before, and also just a faster pace, more energy.
mm.
Um, and I think it's kind of due to a lot of like slap bass, and man, I love slap bass.
so
And
you
I
said
really
punk
feel
and
like
you
the
said
bass.
slap bass. I'm not sure those two go together.
Why not? Why can't you have
Well,
slap bass in punk?
because you
Also,
can't
it's not
slap
a
when you're
punk,
holding a
it's
plectrum. You
more
can't
punk
slap
than
when you're holding a
pop.
plectrum. Um, I mean, because the last couple of songs were kind of like pop punk, whereas this, I feel this kind of like borders a
Yeah,
little
this
bit
is
more
more
on like
punk rock.
hard rock metal. It's not really doing
It
anything
has that
punky, I wouldn't say.
one riff that's kind of a metal riff, but I
I
would say
wouldn't, I,
overall it's a more.
I wouldn't say it's very
I'm
What's
getting
punky. It's definitely more
contrasting
hard
reports
rock.
here. Benedict
Yeah, I
saying
guess
it's
you have to
pop.
listen to it, Neon.
I'd
Howard
say this is
saying rock
this is kind of
I
metal.
would have categorized this as punk rock more than
mm,
anything else.
there's nothing punky about it to me. I'm honest with you. Just doesn't. It's yeah yeah. It doesn't
Yeah,
have the punk
maybe in the
charge.
context, but if you compare to real punk, then maybe not.
No, just compared to any punk. I mean, I'm
Like
trying to be generous.
if you call
There's
the two
not a
songs
single
before
punk aspect in this.
pop rock, then I think this is more punk rock.
This is
Just to answer
less
Neon's
punk than the
question,
last
let's
two, I'd
ignore
say.
Howard for a second.
You know what? You what? I'm gonna listen to this song like in the next
Yeah,
couple of days or so. It's gonna be like fucking jazz or something. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck are them two on about?
it's this is actually some easy listening crooning music, but
Smooth jazz. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck were them two listening to?
Secretly a future funk
it's
song.
old school hip hop.
I got
It's
you.
old. Oh God, yeah. So, yeah, if it was future funk, we wouldn't tell Neon just because we would actually want to see his reaction. Just as his brain is
Sorry,
slightly
go,
melted.
Benedict. Sorry, ask me again, mate. Sorry, I lost track then. What you said on making jokes.
Huh? Sorry.
You said you had like something more for me than Howard.
Uh, I'm not sure. What did I say?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
The future funk thing? I'm not sure where you cut off.
Sorry. All right, it doesn't matter. That's
Doesn't
it.
matter.
I think we're done.
Yeah, too
I,
confused.
I think we're done. Yeah, uh, we all need another
Uh,
injection of coffee, I think. And then on to the next video.
Neon needs to listen to the song.
And I need to listen
To
to
Yeah.
the
get some
song.
energy.
Yeah,
yes.
it's
Yeah.
been a
No. Well,
busy.
I think we can all agree it's energetic. It's all agree it's energetic.
Yeah, I mean, we were having the debate before if we're just going to finish off this video with the last 6 minutes left. But me and Benedict
Go
were
on.
actually saying that obviously the different genres that we listen to for me and Benedict, it's been an extremely quiet start to this year.
Yeah.
I know that obviously Howard's taste in music
Well,
is slightly different to what me and Benedict would sort of lean to. I kind of feel like we're two being one in him here. I kind of feels unfair. But obviously Howard's had like way much more kind of like stuff that he is probably into that me and Benedict it is a bit dry at the minute. Um, and I like Benedict even said before we
regarding
record
Japanese metal.
regarding Japanese
Yeah.
things, like he's been leaning more like obviously back to Western music recently, just because it has felt a bit dry. The look from Howard.
I
No,
know. Big sin. There's some cool stuff coming up in the West,
Mm.
but obviously you are not interested here
Forbidden
on this channel.
words.
forbidden
Forbidden
Yeah,
words.
yeah.
But you know what? I gotta say, it has been an extremely quiet start to this year. I mean, apart from Scandal, which I'm really excited about, and I
And
like
Nemophila.
Scandal and
Nemophila.
Nemophila. It's been reasonably quiet. I mean, I know we had some bloody wood and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. I know a lot of people don't may or may not like that. But yeah, it's been I was expecting this year to pop off a little bit more. And the pop side of like the J-pop, J-rock side of it has been really popping off.
I mean,
Um,
how is it usually around January? Is it just a
it's
time
way
where not much music comes out, or is it just
No,
this
it's been
year?
the complete opposite. For like the last 4 or 5 years I've been doing YouTube, like January, February, March, like there's always something dropping, always been
Hmm.
really active. And this is like the first year where I
Yeah,
kind of
right. I
look at
remember like Love Bites album and
yeah, Love Bites,
like Judgment Day, and the other one came out around
Yeah,
March,
Baby
I
Metal,
think.
the other one as well, came out relatively early, and like loads more albums as well. I think we had an Unlucky Morpheus album as well come
Yeah,
out at the beginning
yeah.
of the year. Um, there's been so much, and this year, I don't know what it is, but the last 2 months of this year so far, I'm kind of looking at the schedule and I'll be like, where is everything? I don't
Where is
like
everybody?
I'm kind of yeah I'm kind of like the John Travolta in
Well,
that Quentin
hopefully they're
Tarantino
all
film
working on
where I'm kind of
new
like,
amazing music.
I don't know, man. I
where
don't
do
know.
we want to go?
I think there's a lot of good stuff to be excited about. I think there's a
There
lot of good
is,
stuff to
but
be
the thing
excited
is
about.
that's it. There is a good lot of stuff to be looking forward to. I found myself over the last 2 3 months going more into like J-pop and that J-rock more than I've ever been, just because on the sort of like the J-metal scene at the minute, it is extremely quiet, which is eerily weird.
Well, we have to say, usually we are very spoiled and get
Well,
like
yeah,
a lot.
yeah,
And
there's
now we
that
just
as
get
well.
nothing for once.
Yeah,
Really complaining, where's
it's
all the music?
I know. We're so overwhelmed with music all the time, and we've had this little bit of quiet spot, and I'm like, okay, this is nice, but I want the music back now.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm really
I
looking
mean,
forward
let's
to the next banger album that I can just
we
go
we've
to.
had Scandal, Upico, Wakazayamon,
What was
Hanabiya
the
had
second
Tasty
Epica?
Survivor. Sorry,
What was the second one?
Upico.
Oh, I
Very, very
understood
pop.
Epica, and I was like, Howard knows
Uh,
about Epica?
no, no,
Howard has
don't know
no,
about that.
yeah,
No,
Howard has
But
no clue who
no
we've
Epica
idea.
is.
had just to cover. We've had that. We've had Wakazayamon. We've had Tasty Survivor by Hanabiya, which was really cool.
Yeah, that was
We
that,
had
that
new
that's a good
songs
Yes.
one.
from. I think Haku's song just came out earlier this year. We had Ada with Elf. We had the new Nemophila album came out. Um, Emma had a song. Asterism had that song with
Hmm.
Pineapple
Hmm.
Express. Zen by Band-Maid was this year, wasn't it? Yeah, I think Zen from
Yeah. Zen was,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we, you
true.
know, we've been
Yeah,
doing pretty all
we've had
right.
some drops.
We've been
Yeah.
doing pretty all right for this apparently dead beginning of the year. We've had some pretty
Well,
had a
regarding
lot of
Japanese
stuff.
metal,
Quiet, quiet
It's
start to the
all
year.
music. I thought we'd agreed comparing to genres wasn't the way to go, Mr. Benedict. I thought that was your big thing, wasn't it? That was your big takeaway. We're not going to
I
be so
still
limiting,
have my
Benedict.
favorite music and favorite
Well,
genre.
expand your horizons, man.
I'm doing to the west.
To the
I've got to
west.
be honest though.
Oh.
One of my favorite series on Benedict's channel was him reacting to Carrie Pammy Pammy. I was like, this is what I come to his channel for.
Hey, listen to Gary
Mettler
Pammy
reacts to
Pammy
Carrie
just
Pammy.
yesterday, and
Exactly,
I'm
exactly.
not
So
ashamed at all.
I will say that that's that shadow is there are other humans here. So I will say that
Pikachu walking around.
we a focaccia is not. What do you mean a focaccia?
Pikachu.
Oh, Pikachu. Oh, why did I hear that as focaccia? Just a piece of bread walking around.
Yes,
But
makes you
anyway.
hungry.
The shadow monster under Howard's bed got bored, start walking around a little bit.
Oh, less than 1 minute, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, don't worry. I've got the timer on my screen as always. Always responsible is the Howard. And we've actually got 33 seconds to go. So I'm going to say a big thank you to everyone who's tuned in. I hope you enjoyed us talking about NEKI and pretty much everything except for NEKI. Hope you enjoyed my new single. I'm sure that 1/3 of this group will see that single as well soon. Get in the comments, tell us your thoughts. Remember all the liking and subscribing. Share this with your friends if you think they got 40 minutes to kill on something. And remember
Yeah.
to keep your ears to the east.
Oh,